She doesn't even go here.
I'm bi, actually.
Excuse me. Could the ugly, untalented gays please report to the principal's office?
Hi, I'm Kurt Homo, and I'll be auditioning for the role of kicker.
Hello. Where the hell have y'all been, nerds? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for the episode today. Thanks for tuning in. If you are a really big Twilight fan, you might have recognized that a little bit, even though it's a little bit different. We are talking about Twilight today. Yes. Team Edward, Team Jacob, Team Bella, Team Charlie.
We have some
Team Nobody.
Some iconic conversations to be had today. Like some big conversations that divided the internet, over a decade ago, but who's counting?
Honestly, and still do, probably. I mean, anytime someone brings it up, so you gotta be careful. So.
Who are you, by the way?
Oh, I'm so sorry. My name is No, just kidding. Alicia.
And I'm your co-host, Luke.
Right. So, today we are talking about all 5 of the films.
Correct.
Because you had not seen the last 2.
Correct.
You could probably confidently say it's the last 2.
Yes.
Okay. So we had done a rewatch because, I mean, come on. You gotta, watch all the Twilight movies. Especially the last 2. They're a ride, for sure.
There's something.
So, yeah.
It is.
Anyways,
it's a ride.
this whole franchise is a ride. But anyways, so yeah, we're going to talk about all 5 films today. Before we get into that, though.
Vibe check. How
How
are
do
the
you feel?
vibes? Alicia, start us off.
I'm very excited. I actually really like the episodes where, it's something different, like a different format where we don't usually do it in this way. But I've been having fun with a lot of those episodes. So... And you know what? If nothing else, Twilight is a fun and interesting conversation. So
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and then we're also going to be ranking the movies, of course, because we always do stuff like that. But also, we're going to be talking about some of our favorite, or at least most iconic, vampires or, vampire universes within movies and TV shows. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. What about you?
I'm vibing. I'm happy to
Yeah.
be here. Happy to be. I do really like doing these episodes where it's not just like looking at one movie.
Yeah,
it's kinda
or
looking
recent
at a group
releases.
of movies,
Yeah.
or I actually really enjoy our recaps and looking at a bunch of different things. And I really like having conversations that kind of expand outside of just one movie, or even in this case a group of movies. I like looking at vampire movies as a whole legacy, and I'm very excited to get into that conversation today.
Yeah, me too. I'm a big vampire person. Definitely out of all the supernatural beings, vampires have always been the most interesting to me. I've seen and read a lot of vampire content. There's still plenty to be seen and read. So we're gonna talk about it. Of course, we got to talk about one of, if not the most, well, besides Dracula.
Or whatever.
Whatever.
Dracula
the
anyways.
OG, whatever. Yeah, other than that, I would say this is definitely the most mainstream kind of talk about vampires, one of at least.
Sure.
But I don't know, it's pretty big, so yeah, I'm excited.
Absolutely. So are we gonna start with ranking?
Yeah, we're gonna start with ranking today.
Okay.
Something different. Excited.
Alrighty, so we're ranking the 5 movies. That's the first Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and then Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2. I actually haven't prepared this, so this will be very off the cuff for me.
Oh, okay. I just looked at what I rated them on Letterboxd. There was only one where I had to be like, okay, these have the same score. Which one would I put first and second? So I'm excited. We're going to start with number 5.
Hold on, I need to...
See, now you're going to look at Letterboxd. I also put you on Letterboxd, so... Guys, he always doubts me on stuff, but then I always put him on something, and he's like, this is kind of great. Every time. We watched Interstellar, we watched Few Good Men, we watched Dirty Dancing, Pretty Woman, The Holiday, all these iconic films, Dead Poets Society. So, I still forget that I'm the one that put you on Heartstopper. I forget that every now and then. I'm like, oh, yeah.
I took it and ran.
Speaking of, did you see that they started filming?
Yes, I saw that the movie started today.
I'm so excited.
It's very exciting.
Ugh, Kit with a beard. You look great. Who knew? Gosh, you're taking so long. I can't believe you didn't off the top of your memory remember which one is your least favorite.
I will say there are 2 that are pretty next to each other.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1. I have Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Whoa, really?
I
Oh, that's crazy. I went New Moon. That's like a very like clear bottom movie for me, personally.
New Moon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. This one, it felt weird. I remember watching it and being like, I cannot imagine what a trailer looks like for this movie, because what is this movie?
No, for real.
You have the iconic wedding, and
Yeah.
it is a lovely and beautiful wedding.
Yeah.
I love the idea that they're part of the family, but then the whole movie is just like, oh, she's having a vampire baby.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Mhm.
And then that thing's born, and then people switch up.
Terrifying.
It's like, aw, it's a baby. Meanwhile, it's like the most hideous thing I've ever
Yeah,
seen, and it's like,
crazy.
no, now's when you kill it with fire, people.
It's such a ride. I was disappointed when I rewatched part 1 and part 2 because I remember looking back, I had felt like I really liked those two films, and then I just like they were okay, and then they had like some terrifying moments and then some good moments, but it's like I didn't like them as much as I remembered liking them. So I don't know. I can understand that, even though mine's a little higher than that, but it's okay.
It's a ride.
Its rating is
know.
not all that much higher, I will say.
I don't know.
So
I don't know. I also think it's the weirdest and most annoying that Jacob is in this one. I would say this is where he is.
Mm-hmm.
And then Edward is just like not acting the entire movie either.
Yeah, he kind of takes a back seat for the most part. I feel like I like the first half of the movie when it's the wedding and the honeymoon.
Yes, I would agree. But then too much of the movie is just like the same note. It's like, oh my god, no,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
from everyone. It's like everyone takes a
Yeah.
beat to be like, oh no.
Oh,
But
no.
that's
Oh,
the
no.
entire like
Yeah.
hour runtime.
Mm-hmm. Because, you know, all these people are finding out and reacting, but then you can only, as a viewer, you can only take that so many times before you're like, okay, we get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't need to see every character have a visceral reaction. Like, we know that they're going to. We don't need to see 10 people have the same reaction.
Yeah.
So,
and I will say
makes
this.
us feel like it makes me feel like they think we're dumb, you know? It's like, no, we get it.
I also feel like world building.
So-
It like introduces the least compared to some of these other movies, and when it
Mm-hmm.
does introduce, which is like just the idea of the human and vampire baby,
Yeah.
they don't do it well.
No, and it's not even really developed at all until part 2.
Yeah.
And even then, it's not by much.
Right, but you know, they try.
More
they
than this
certainly
movie.
try.
Yeah. So, more credit than you can give this movie. So, I agree with that. And the New Moon for me is just so much Jacob, and I've never been a huge Jacob fan at all. So, I think he's hot. Well, when he gets his haircut. I'm sorry. I just think, you know, some hairstyles are, you know, look better on certain people. So, I don't know. Some guys can really rock those, like, long hairstyles, and I feel like Taylor
What about the
Lautner's
hair
not one of
all
them.
over your body style when he becomes a werewolf?
Right.
Right?
Well, Belle would know something about that, so.
Right.
Anyways, right.
Bella. We cracked the code.
Oh my god.
Disney was Team Jacob all along.
That's crazy. Well, but Beauty and the Beast came first.
Yeah.
So, Stephanie Myers, do you need to be sued? Like, like wait a second. Did you, like, understand Belle on, like, a really deep level? Is that what happened here? Ugh. This, like, book series and movie series went on to inspire way too many stories, to be honest.
Sure.
Anyways.
Alrighty, so on to number 4.
Yeah.
My pick. I think I'm also excited that our list is already different.
Yeah,
I feel
me
like
too.
lately
I was just
our
about
lists
to
have
say
been-
that. Oh my god.
I feel like our lists have been like the same for like the past 3 times we've tried ranking stuff.
Yeah.
So I like that it's
So-
already different. So on 3, 2, 1, number 4, I have New Moon.
I have Eclipse.
Eclipse. Remind me which one Eclipse is.
Eclipse is when Edward comes back after almost killing himself, and he's trying to get Bella to accept his proposal.
Like
And then
the vampire
Victoria's
army.
hunting
Victoria's
them,
army.
the newborns, or
Yeah.
yeah. So that whole thing.
Yeah, I will say New Moon for me. I don't know. I like parts of Jacob. It's like it literally like as soon as they like start looking at each other romantically, it's like, oh, cool, you are an asshole.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I don't like that all of the werewolves wear denim when they're shirtless. It's like, why is this a dress code?
You know, that's valid.
I do like, I don't know, it's weird and it takes up a lot of the movie, but I actually really like Edward leaving, and like, I like her acting a lot.
Yeah.
And, like, the numbness of it all, it feels, I don't know, it feels not normal, but very authentic.
Yeah. I feel like it actually is a pretty fresh and unique take on depression and what that can do to you.
Yeah,
So.
I also really like whenever he's like in like the mist form. I don't know. I didn't even consider the idea that it's not real and that it's her seeing something. But
Yeah.
because I always liked in like lore of vampires that like there's like a mist that they can become, and I like to imagine that's what that is, and I think that's underused vampire power.
Yeah, well, I mean, before you said that, I hadn't even known that was a thing.
It's a very rare thing. It's like whenever
I want to see that in a
like,
real way.
In like late elementary school, because I was always super into like monsters and Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
And then I like started getting like books on monsters, and apparently like there's a ton of stuff. Like apparently the tale of the first werewolf comes from like Greek mythology, and like there's vampires were also early on known for turning into wolves. So yeah.
Okay.
Feels like there's some overlap there, isn't
there? Right.
so yeah, it's just interesting to see how different vampires have been throughout, you know, whenever there were tales of them in the 1800s and to Edward Cullen and his trendy haircuts.
Yeah. No, and I also find it very fascinating to kind of back to Edward being gone. I find it very fascinating that he almost never shows up or manifests himself or anything because he isn't there. And the only times he does quote unquote show up is through like mist form, and it's almost like a ghost haunting kind of thing.
Yes.
It's not like a good thing. I think that's very powerful because it really is digging in deep. It's making the viewers also feel that withdrawal.
Yes.
After having Edward so much in the first movie and then almost not at all in this movie, it's having that same effect, and I think that's pretty clever actually. But
and then it also it introduces the
Volturi.
I was thinking it was Volturi, but Volturi. I'll never get it right. I'm so sorry. But it introduces them. And I actually really love their introduction in that first one. Like, I remember watching for the first time them, like, leaving towards the end and, like, the group of people, like, tourists being let in. And, like, being like, oh, my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like everyone's going to know they went missing here because they're tourists who were visibly tracking where they were going that day. But, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
It's, ugh. I like it a lot.
Kind of crazy. I don't know. I really like parts of this movie, and I really dislike other parts of this movie. The two biggest things I feel like really drag this movie down for me, and maybe I'm being nitpicky. Maybe I should put this higher. I don't know. But I don't like the newborns. I don't think they're explored very well. None of them are very interesting to me. I think Riley's actor, so sorry to you. I think he's not meant for acting.
Sure.
So, and then I like Bryce Dallas Howard. I really do.
But not here.
Not here. I'm so sorry. I loved the original Victoria. I don't know the story of why she left or did she get fired. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea why they replaced her. But so just from knowing her in the movie as the character, she just gave Victoria, and she gave like so much threatening vibes, I guess. And she also looked very authentically vampire-ish. And I feel like Bryce Dallas Howard looked like a regular person that you put hair and makeup on to try to look supernatural. I don't know. Does that make sense?
I see what you're saying. I don't know if I completely agree. Because I think, honestly, shot for shot, I feel like every other shot, each vampire's like, okay, they went a little hard on this shot.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I will say, like, she's more... she looks more like the other vampires, I will say. But the original actress, I just loved that she looked so natural in her, like, I don't know, she gave like an eerie vibe, but also she was so pretty. Like I can totally see how she would lure people in and then eat them. So I don't know. I liked that about her. So, but what can you do?
You didn't consider that a red flag?
What?
I just love that she's so pretty. She lures people in and then she eats them.
No,
but, like,
listen.
she has a great personality.
No, she doesn't. She does not. I just like her look better and her vibes better, I guess. But then the second thing I really don't like about this movie is just one scene where we're talking about spoilers. Obviously, these movies have been out for a while, but just in case you didn't know, we are talking about spoilers. I didn't like when Bella kisses Jacob. It was like worse than I remembered. I was like, I can't believe she did that.
Pretty bad.
Why would she do that? Because also, I feel like up until that point, I mean, yes, she was weird with how close she would get to him and then reject him. But up until that point, it was always her rejecting him. And so then they just want to turn around and make...
It feels very out of the blue.
Yes, they want to turn around and make me believe that there was something there from the beginning, and I just don't believe you. I just don't. I feel like most love triangles are very poorly written, and I think this is one of them. Because in order to actually be a love triangle, you have to actually like both and be with both in certain points. Kind of like, not to like plug the Some Are Turned Pretty.
Do it. I do.
But and there's so many other problems I have with that love triangle. But the one good thing I can for sure say is that they definitely explore her being with both.
Yes.
So, also
both,
like
both
Vampire
are options
Diaries.
that are definitely on the table.
Yes.
At any given moment. Yeah,
yes. Just like Vampire Diaries is another one I'm thinking of. So, that's like the bare minimum of a love triangle, and I just don't believe you that happened here. I think you're like, oh yeah, we do need to make this a love triangle, and threw that together.
Sure.
And I just don't believe it. So
Question: do you think it's done better in the books, or is it like a problem from the books translated exactly into the movie?
gosh, I feel like for all the hate on the movies, I feel like it actually for the most part does a pretty good job. I mean, of course it's movies, so it leaves details out. But so I would probably say that just inherently the books are better just because they have more detail and more background than the movies have time for. But like people hate on not Kristen Chenoweth. I was looking
Kristen
at
Stewart.
Yes, I was looking at a video of her today. Anyways, Kristen Stewart. But she nailed that role. I'm like, you say what you want. You don't have to like Bella, but she nailed that role. So
No,
it's just a really annoying role. So
I don't know. I feel like I've never, like, watching this franchise, I never got the impression that she was doing a bad job.
I don't know. People were like, I can't believe she's doing this. She needs to not act. And I'm like, actually, she does. She just needs a better written role.
If you actually think a woman is like this, get help.
Yeah. No,
if you
for
know
real.
someone like this, call a hospital.
Yeah, like, seek help. Because that's crazy. Anyways, we were also talking about the entire franchise, like, story from Charlie's perspective is, like, a horror story. That's crazy.
Indeed.
You want to go through it again? I
You-
loved when I went
go
through
for
it. So, okay. Let's just imagine after, 16, 17 years, you finally have your daughter living with you.
Yes.
And, maybe she's kind of, like, spooky or depressed or, like, whatever. Like, moody teenager, though.
Sure.
Like, that's, pretty normal. And then she goes to school and she meets this guy, Edward, which, like, I would say the whole town probably knows that whole family's kind of weird. Like, there's a off vibe about them, whatever. But, like, I would get the impression that Charlie likes Carlisle. So, he's been like, whatever. Like, she's dating a boy. Like, this is, like, normal teenager behavior. Whatever.
Everyone knows they're hot.
Yeah, exactly. So, he's like, you know what? Whatever. I'm vibing with it. And then in the second movie... No.
In the
Actually,
first
just
movie
in the
still.
first movie still. I don't want to skip past that. Oh, my gosh. I almost did. Then she just like freaks out one day and leaves and is really rude to you.
Breaking up with the boyfriend first.
Yeah. And then she's leaving, like you don't even know what's happening really. It's just like all happening at the same time. And the next thing you know, she's in the hospital and her leg is broken or foot is broken or whatever was broken. And the whole story is she fell out a window, she tripped downstairs, and her boyfriend's there with her, and I guess they're together again, and that's not sus at all. Maybe.
Oh my god, that's so
no,
true.
like, really? Like, you break up with your boyfriend and then you end up in the hospital and you're back together. Like, that's so, like, that screams abusive right there. So, then the second movie, he breaks up with her again and leaves for months. Several months. Almost like a year, basically. But, you know, she's super depressed for a really long time. And it's horrible. She's having nightmares, all this horrible stuff. Then she finally befriends Jacob and starts hanging out with him. And is seemingly, you know, getting better.
Yes.
And then she jumps off a cliff and almost dies and drowns. Luckily, Jacob saves her. Jacob, in his eyes, probably green flag. You know.
We know that's true.
Anyways. And then she leaves and comes back. And Edward's trying to get her to marry her. And you're like, I didn't know this was an option. I thought he left. Now he's back, and I guess you're trying to get married. I don't even know. And then, finally, they agree to get married. And then they get married. And everyone thinks she's pregnant. And then they go on a honeymoon. And then you think she's sick. And then you think she's going to die. And then finally, you find out that she's fine. And she looks hot, just like the rest of the family. And she has a baby. A little baby. That looks so terrifying, by the way.
Yes.
Props to... Oh, my God. Props to... Like, it's so...
You have to wonder what they were acting with.
No, for real. Oh, my God. And you're like, what's happening? And then... Oh, actually, before he finds out that she's fine and sees her in person and knows she has a baby, Jacob reveals that he's a werewolf.
Yeah.
It's basically like, something happened to your daughter like this, but not exactly this, but don't ask questions. You don't need to know. And your daughter's like, yeah, you don't need to know, but I'm okay. And he's like, what is happening? What's happening? Oh my God.
I would love to see a conversation with him and his therapist.
No, I'm like, Charlie, you deserve better than that. Oh my God. I'm so sorry for you. That must be wild. I, like, need to sit down with that actor and be like, are you okay? Like, do you have, like, secondhand, like, trauma? I don't even know. Like, from playing that character. This is crazy. Anyway, sorry for the long explanation, but it's necessary. Like,
It is something.
That's what it was like.
It's something
So,
to consider.
anyways, we can move on to the third, if you want.
Number 3, I'm ready.
Okay. No, I didn't write it down. I was yapping.
Yeah, I think we noticed that one.
Okay.
Womp womp.
Okay, I'm almost done. I'm ready.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. I have Eclipse.
I have Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Yes.
I would be okay switching those to 3 and 4, personally.
Yeah, I think
I don't
Eclipse,
really care.
I don't know. I kind of like the new vampire thing. I like the idea of an army versus the Cullens.
Yeah.
I really like the training. It's where you start seeing more of the Cullen like backstory. I really like Jesper's backstory.
Yeah.
I really like seeing Rosalie's backstory and how awesome she looked in the bride dress.
Oh, and in the book, it's so much more developed, and I wish they got to include that in the movie, but it's okay.
Yeah, it feels, I don't know, with those, it feels almost weird that we never got any backstory on Alice or Emmett or...
Yeah.
What's Carlisle's wife?
Esme.
Esme.
Because it's Renesmee.
Right. I don't know. It just makes me want to know more about these people who've been alive forever and still choose to go to high school.
Yeah. Oh, I would love a series on the Volturi, like all of them, and how they not only just became vampires, but what's been happening since then, how they joined the Volturi, all of that.
Yeah,
I would love that.
I'm surprised, especially with like the revival of vampires in media. I feel like it's crazy that no one's having a discussion about like even just like a series
For
like,
Twilight, yeah.
Like the Cullens or the Volturi. Yeah, even
Yeah.
doing it on the Volturi, I think would be an interesting thing.
Yeah, I'd watch it. So, that's what I wish they were doing instead of another Harry Potter series of the same exact thing we've already seen. I wish they were doing like, oh, I forgot what it is, but not the Marauders. Is it the Marauders? I'm thinking of like James and
Yeah, they're the Marauders.
yeah.
The Marauders, man.
Fans have been begging for a series on that for years. Like before Fantastic Beasts even was written or came out as a movie. Yeah, I wish they were doing something original, but all the remakes. So
Did you like the Fantastic Beasts movies?
I liked the first one.
Okay. I think I only saw the first one.
I don't know. It sucks because like I don't hate like the Dumbledore and Grindelwald like exploration. I actually think like there was definitely something there, but it just became not Fantastic Beasts. It's like I wish there were two separate things. Like you can build a universe off of this. Like you don't have to like combine it to one thing. Do Fantastic Beasts. Do Dumbledore. Sorry. Dumbledore. Sorry. I almost said that. I'm so sorry, sir.
Almost.
I'm
You
so
just said it.
No, okay. Well, anyways. Dumbledore and Grindelwald. Like, I would have watched both. But then you combined them and tried to have them coexist. And it just was overcrowded. And neither felt successful to me in the second and third movie. But the first movie was almost all about Fantastic Beasts.
Yes.
And so it was good to me. So...
Heard.
Anyways, back to Twilight.
Yeah, good little tangent.
You ready for the? Oh, do you want to talk about?
Eclipse.
Are
I really
things-
liked it. The recast to Bryce Dallas Howard as Victoria doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I can't even. I'm struggling to remember what the original Victoria looked like.
Really?
Like when I think of Victoria, I think Bryce Dallas Howard.
I love her face. I can't. It's etched in my mind.
It's really weird, but I don't know. I like the fight scene. I like the idea that this is where the werewolves and them team up for the first time. It does a lot for me. I like that it shows the Volturi as like, oh, they're the overarching bad guy. That there are Thanos.
Yeah.
Sending like its Black Order there. So I don't know.
I have to wonder if that fight scene in Eclipse kind of tested the waters for what happened in Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Oh, I have to imagine.
You know? Like, because you had that team up, and you had it... I mean, they had it on snow as well, so both fights, so... Because that didn't happen in the book, so maybe somebody had that, like, little seed in their mind of, like, is this crazy? Is this too crazy? But then they
it's
liked
crazy.
this. Finish each other's.
Sandwiches.
That's what I was gonna say.
Anyways. Yeah. But yeah, some horrible moments in that movie. But, I would say unlike New Moon and Breaking Dawn Part 1, like, actual, like, action and vampire and werewolf stuff, which I really enjoyed.
You know what? That's fair. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Our second one.
I have the first Twilight movie.
Okay. I have Breaking Dawn Part 2. Used to be, I thought this was my favorite, but then even after rewatching, I was like, I wonder what I rated this on Letterboxd, and it was lower than Twilight. And I was like, I kind of still agree with that, actually. So,
I don't know.
I still really I love the last fight. I don't even care that it's, like, not real. It's just so
I think
good.
That's an awesome scene.
Yeah.
I like having, like, you spend the whole movie, like, setting up all of these different vampire powers. And
Yes.
then you see them all against each other, and I think it's very fun.
Yeah.
So Twilight at number 2, I would say I would interchange these pretty
Yeah.
well. But ultimately, I think it ends on a really great note, and I think it starts on a really solid note.
Yeah.
I think I like the family. I think the casting was amazing. I think, they sell the chemistry there really early on. I think Jacob is there almost the perfect amount for, like, all of these movies.
Yeah. I totally agree.
But... And I love how it was, like, the first one. I almost always give credit to the first one that, like, came up with the idea or, like, fully realized the idea first.
Yeah.
I give a lot of credit to those.
Yeah.
And it's solid. It's solid. You're trying to be a vampire. The other vampires join your baseball league, realize you're not a vampire, and then threaten to kill you. So, tale as old as time.
Yeah.
Never.
I don't know.
And that's why you never play baseball with vampires.
So valid. No, but I feel like the reason I came out of this liking Twilight better than Breaking Dawn Part 2 is, one, because of how horrifying Renesmee looked the
That's
entire
so fair.
movie. I was like, that really brings it down for me until she's like at that age of the actress, and they just let the actress be. Poor actress. I'm glad she's gone on to do some things. I'm still pretty sure she's the girl in Megan too, but I need to like confirm that. I'm not exactly sure.
Sure.
Anyways, she could like play her sister if she's not. Anyways, and then that and oh god, there was something else. And I forgot what it was.
You're doing great.
It was Renesmee. What else happens in Breaking Dawn Part 2? Oh, the imprinting. Oh my god.
So fair.
So
But to be fair, I credit the imprinting to Breaking Dawn Part 1.
what do you mean?
The movie where he actually just does it, and then everyone's
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah.
"Oh yay, he did that!" And it's like, we're
Yeah.
cheering.
Well, I just hate how the whole movie like nobody questions it.
Well, Bella does.
Well,
She's
true.
the first one to do
True.
it.
So
this is the
true.
only movie they question it, actually.
You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness monster.
Bro,
That's
name
so
a more
real.
iconic line.
No, for real. That one. Where the hell have you, Bella? Where the hell have you been, Loca? And then Edward's like, as if you could outrun me. Something like that. It's not as iconic because I can't even remember the full line, but something like that. I don't know. So obviously your number one would be Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Yeah, I think another difference between the first Twilight movie and this last one is that it just ends on a really strong note for me.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, I think endings are really important to a movie. Just like almost unarguably more important than your beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
No,
I
yeah.
think Twilight, the first one, ends on a very forgettable note.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think this one ends on like the most memorable note of the entire franchise.
Oh, it's such a good ending point with her like unshielding herself in order to show him her mind. I think that's just so romantic, but also clever. I'm like, it's not like out of left field, but it makes sense, and I'm glad they played with that. So
Yeah, I loved
Yeah.
seeing all the powers. I loved the
Mhm.
huge fight scene. Rami Malek and a bunch of other actors who got a little chance to highlight.
Mhm.
Seeing the Volturi fight and all of their powers, even though they've been characters for a second.
yeah,
I liked, I don't know, the basic of learning what Renesmee is, the idea of an immortal child and why that was a problem. I thought was a really fun thing and quick thing.
yeah,
Like they needed to drag out the oh my gosh of it all.
mhm, yeah.
I don't know. I truly think, and I guess ultimately they made a lot more money from separating them, but I truly wonder what the world would look like if Breaking Dawn was just one movie.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like if you had the wedding, the baby being born wasn't the whole movie.
There's
and then
one
going
big book.
There is one big book.
There's
and
only 4 books.
I think there's a reason there's one book. I think there's a very strong reason why there's one book. But
I don't know.
I don't know.
These
And
books are so old.
I
and
might not like the beginning, but I now know I'd like the ending.
Yeah.
Like
That's true.
almost perfect ending if they didn't have Alice take us to the future and see them on a couple's date and be like, that's so
Yeah.
okay.
It was so close.
Alice, stop smiling.
Yeah. What can you do? Also, I wanted to shout out that in Breaking Dawn Part 1, they play chess with white and red pieces, and that's on the front cover. So, there you go. Ooh, I need to show mine.
Yep, here's final list.
There
Very different
we go.
lists.
Yeah. I think that's fun. Sometimes it's fun to have the same exact list and laugh about it. And then
Yes.
sometimes, you have totally
It's
different
glad
lists.
to be reminded
but
we're not the same person.
not all the time.
Not all the time. But
Yeah.
so yeah. I guess we covered a lot of the movies just by going through them.
Yeah.
I think maybe talking about some of the stuff we didn't talk about through the movies.
Sure.
Looking at the first one. And did
Oh.
you see all of these in theater?
No. I only saw, I think, I want to say the last one. I know I didn't see Breaking Dawn Part 1, but I know I saw Part 2. So, I saw that one.
Ironically, the only one I watched in theaters was the first one.
Oh, that's funny.
And I had to be pretty freaking young when I saw it because my sisters took me to it.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's why I didn't watch most of these. So, but I watched Part 2. Although I watched Part 2 before the book. So I didn't quite have the experience of like, wait, this wasn't in the book. But I was still like gagged. So I was like, oh my god, of course, like everyone was. So, yeah.
Interesting. So
People stood up in my theater. I still remember that.
Very fair.
It's kind of crazy. And you know what? That's valid.
It's a scene that warrants it.
Yeah.
It's very intense.
So, yeah.
Fun filter. What about that Twilight filter?
Oh, well, I just think it's iconic. I'm glad. I feel like it worked for the first movie, but I'm glad they didn't have it for the others. So, yeah. I don't know. It's just a staple. Like, people go and visit. I'm combining words now. They go visit the location they filmed it at, and that town has, at like gift shops or whatever, like welcome center, I don't know, I haven't gone, somewhere they give you like a filter that you can look through to like see the town through that filter. The little blue filter. So
that's amazing.
They have the same diner where they dined at in the first movie, ketchup bottles, like all the iconic stuff. So I would 100% take a trip there for sure. It's just far away. So
where is it?
Washington. I don't know if it's called Forks, Washington, but
I would assume it's not called Forks.
I don't know, man. So
Forks, Cousins, very comparable to The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Well, in the Vampire Diaries, they live in Mystic Falls. It's not called that. It's called like Covington, Georgia, I think. But they go to this place called the Mystic Grill. It's like a bar kind of food area. They have it, and it's named that in Covington, Georgia. So I don't know. I wouldn't be all that surprised. Or if they at least had, like, the diner had the same name or something like that. So, yeah. Man, anyways.
Let me see. So, New Moon, we said boring, too much Jacob. I concur. So, recasting Victoria, we've talked about that. The newborn lore, we've touched. Wedding, beautiful wedding. The honeymoon. I really like them being on vacation.
Yeah.
Vampires on
it's
vacation.
very fun.
Vampires on vacation.
They seemed like an actual couple.
Yes.
Well, I feel like they usually do, but they seemed like a more normal couple
Yes.
during their honeymoon. So.
The pregnancy, the death. Also, okay, the effects on her as she
looked rough,
looks
but like
so rough.
yeah,
but, like,
in a well done way.
Yes.
I would say.
And then whenever they like have it like her turning at the very end of the movie,
it's
I
very
love
cool.
that.
Yeah. I loved. My favorite part is always watching her hair get more warm. It's always, and like also has more volume and everything, and then her spine fixing.
Boom.
It looks like she gets. It looks like she gets a boob job, but nope, it's just her spine. Oh, the balloon inflating. Yeah. That's funny.
And also, there's in Breaking Dawn Part 1, there like feels like almost this meta narrative that like, oh no, people don't want this woman to birth her baby. Isn't it crazy that the main character has to fight to have her baby be born? And I don't know. I don't buy that.
No.
At all.
It sucks that you could have had a really interesting commentary on like pro-life, pro-choice, and or even not even just that, just like the horrors of being pregnant and giving birth. Like, it is scary in real life. You don't need to have a half vampire baby to go through that, but that could have been a really cool opportunity to highlight that and talk about that, and they just don't do it well at all. And they don't have the conversation in a way that seems healthy.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's doing anything constructive. Like, there's movies that like try to be about something, but then like the way they go about it makes it just be like a thing, like almost a passing glance at the conversation.
Yeah.
So it's
because like almost every character in that movie is like screaming to cut it out of her, get that demon out of her, and it feels like they think pro-choicers are like attacking pro-lifers, but that's not what it is. The whole pro-choice thing is that you can choose to have it or not have it.
And I don't know. I don't want to put too much of that into it because obviously whoever made this movie didn't feel interested in making that a conversation, so I don't want to get too deep into it. But it's just a really weird note that I couldn't help but feel throughout the entire movie.
Totally agree.
Considering nothing else was happening.
Yeah.
Which I think is ultimately one of the biggest problems for that movie.
I agree. So fair. So
it almost reminds me of how I felt watching. Oh my God, what is it? It's one of the earliest Kubrick film. A Clockwork Orange.
Oh yeah.
Where
you warned me not to watch that
It's-
film, and I don't
you
have
would
any
hate
interest
it.
to. Yeah.
It like goes through a very aggressive essay scene, and it
Yeah.
shows it all.
Yeah.
And it is
Yeah.
insane that someone thought it was okay to put that on camera. But
I don't know.
but one of the even like obviously that's the worst thing that I think that movie does.
Mm-hmm.
But also I hate the idea of putting in like the guy who does that gets arrested and sent to jail, and he chooses to go through this program that like forces people like it like trains their brain to be like ungodly sick if you even like consider sex, hurting people,
Oh.
and it's like you get like violently ill if you even like think about it. So they're conditioned to not be criminals anymore, and so they get out quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that the movie goes through such a point of being like, oh, I'm the prison pasture. This is unethical. You can't just train someone to go against the way that they are before they came into this building. That's not what Christianity is about. Don't you know it? Christians have a really good line about not changing people. And it's like,
Right.
okay, movie. That's
Right.
an interesting choice to
Did
be
you
on.
read the Bible? I don't think you did.
Not even the Bible, but like, are you seeing the conversations that people holding this book are having today? They're being read
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
frickin' don't be gay camps.
Yeah.
So that whole thing, I don't know. People talk about it and they make really weird choices in the same vein of trying to be, I guess, super edgy. And I don't know. The whole movie just does not work for me because
That's crazy.
it goes too far for not enough substance for me. And the substance is just like, no.
Yeah.
that's not the people having this conversation. It's crazy to me. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I agree.
don't want to talk about that movie anymore.
Okay.
Breaking Dawn Part 2, Vampire Bella. Love her finally becoming a vampire.
Yeah, she looks great.
It's very satisfying in the opening of that movie, seeing her like with her first hunt, seeing her just like be on the same pace as Edward.
Yeah.
There's also a point in the second movie where it shows the two like Russian vampires running at the same speed, like the camera's like with them. And man, sometimes that running effect, like it works for like Edward and Bella in like the opening scene, but I hate it on most of the other shots because it's just like,
Oh my god, you scared my cat.
wow. Sorry, I didn't mean to pull a Renesmee on ya. But it's just, but like it just doesn't look. It's like, oh my god, I'm running. It's crazy. Imprinting is weird. The fight scene. How do you think the fight scene compares to like modern day fight scene? Was it the original Endgame fight?
I don't know. I think it's done really well. I think the way they used it, considering obviously, you know, people who hadn't read the book didn't know it was going to happen, and people who did read the book didn't know it was going to happen. I think that was pretty clever. I mean, it's hard. When could you possibly do that in a book to movie adaptation where you gag everybody?
Yeah.
Because it's like specifically you could do that because of Alice's powers. Like, how else could you possibly do something like that in media? So, I don't know. I think it was really well done. I think they hit a lot of emotional marks, but also allowed for cool exploration of powers and just fighting in general. And I appreciated that it showed that the Volturi is not quite as capable as they may seem.
Sure.
So they're very scary, but they're also scary in numbers. And I think it's interesting that they didn't choose to all fight at once. I think it's very purposeful that Aro, I think you say Aro,
Yep,
Aro, fancy, and a few of the others just stood by watching most of the fight until the heavy hitters won or died.
Yeah.
So then they stepped in. I think that's very purposeful.
Feels fairly true to life.
Yeah. So,
So,
do you want to talk about this terrifying baby?
I don't even know what else there is to say about it. Like, don't, like,
I
change. Just get different baby and child actors. Don't do that ever again.
No.
Hollywood, if I ever see this shit again on my screen, I'm gonna come down there.
I'm gonna sue
And
you.
we're gonna have a conversation. She's gonna call the lawyers. I'm gonna show up at your door, and we're gonna have a
knock-in.
conversation.
Yeah. I mean, it looked rough, and it's one of those things like the original Twilight movie. Some people might make fun of the filter, but I feel like it works for the movie. This is one of those things where you can make fun of it, and it does not work for this movie. It's not doing anything. Like, at least the filter is, trying to make it, muted compared to what Arizona.
Well, because there's a reason for the filter.
Yes.
Whether it works or not, like, you can still acknowledge why they were doing the filter.
Yes.
There was no reason to do this weird CGI baby thing.
No.
It didn't work then. I know it didn't work then.
No.
And it certainly ages worse.
Yeah.
So, I don't know who... Like, I hope someone got fired for that. Whoever ultimately made that decision.
Oh my gosh. It felt like they were like... Their excuse was like, well, we want it to look like it's the same child growing up, so we're like using the main actress's face. And it's like, but you don't need to do that.
Certainly not when it's a baby.
This is a vampire movie. You think the audience can't suspend some disbelief a little bit for a baby? You think we're gonna care that much?
Especially between the differences between the two Victorias.
Right? I'm like, who cares? And maybe, I don't know, maybe there was something with the Victoria recast and people were mad, and so then they were afraid to do that with the babies. But it's like, no, it's going to be okay.
I promise it'll be okay.
It's going to be okay. It would have been better than this. So, yeah. Anyways, us, are still talking about it. So,
Absolutely.
Clearly that was not the right choice.
I figure maybe we go into, unless you have any other things to add.
The imprinting... Ugh.
I don't know.
I just hate that it felt like I said this earlier when we were watching it. It felt like the whole Luke and Leia thing where the author didn't know where she was going to go with the imprinting, and so she made it a romantic thing and then was like, oh crap, I kind of want to do this imprinting on the baby, but then I have to make it clear it's not romantic. But then backpedaling like that is not... Even if you established that it could be like a friend thing from the beginning, I feel like it still would have been bad. But like the Luke and Leia thing, you're like, oh crap, bad backpedal after they already kissed. They are siblings.
Right.
It's not weird, right? You're like, nope, still weird.
That was a choice.
Still weird. Mm-hmm. This is why you should probably think out your movies and shows a little bit, or in books a little bit more. I don't know, maybe it was purposeful, but I'm trying to give her some benefit of the doubt that maybe at least it wasn't purposeful.
I don't know,
Anyways,
man. I don't know.
I don't know. Crazy. Okay, did you want to do our whatchamacallit?
Before we go into that, I actually wanted to maybe ask some questions back and forth.
Okay.
So, okay, well, let's tone down the
I'm just
stats.
kidding. I'm sorry.
So, who would you say is your favorite Cullen?
Oh, for sure Alice.
Absolutely.
But also I want to give a shout out to Emmett. I've always really liked Emmett.
I think Emmett is really fun in these movies, and
Yeah.
it's crazy they don't even give a sentence to talk about where he comes from.
Nope.
Does the book have anything on him?
I think the book has some more about all of them. It's been a while since I read it, but been about 5 years, I think. But
Interesting.
yeah, I know for sure it talks more about Rosalie,
Yes.
and I think Alice as well. Yes, it does. Alice has a really traumatic backstory. I forgot what it was, but I'm like remembering now.
Right.
Which is the reason she has the powers she does.
Interesting. Oh my god, she kind of gives, like, Agatha all along Lydia. Not Lydia. That's Beetlejuice.
Mm.
What is that
Right,
character?
right. Okay, Alice.
You're doing great.
I'm reading about it. Okay. Alice was prone to having premonitions of the future since she was a child, even though they weren't always correct. People talked about her a lot in town because, that's strange. It was the early 1900s. One day, she had a horrifying vision of her mother being murdered by a stranger. She tried to warn her. Her mother believed her. Her father did not. After months of precautions with nothing serious happening, her mother eventually put her guard down and was killed. And Alice saw it happen and tried to explain it was a murder. It was declared accidental, and her father silenced her. Within 6 months, her father remarried to another lady.
Where's this movie?
And then Alice was treated coldly by her stepmother, while her little sister was spoiled with love. Alice suspected the new mother was behind the murder of her actual mother. Her dad was really mad that she accused her of that. Then Alice had a vision of her own father and her mother's killer planning to kill her. And then revealing... She had a vision of her own father and her mother's killer planning... Oh, okay. Like they were going to both kill her. And then she tried to hide with her family, but was rejected to do so because of her previous incorrect premonitions. So, I'm guessing that's probably how Carlisle found her, because she was probably either being hunted or something, like was about to be killed by her father. So,
Sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Interesting.
I was remembering, I was like, there was something like with the premonitions that was super traumatic for her. So, yeah. Anyways, I don't know if I would recommend reading the books. I mean, if you are a reader, sure. But if you're not, and you read like 3 books a year, if that, I'd probably just look up their backstories, because I think they are interesting and worth knowing. So, yeah. Anyways.
Is there at least an LVP of the Cullens for you?
Oh, of the Cullens?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Like, I feel like it would be easy to say Rosalie, since she's kind of a bitch sometimes, but like, I kind of like her, and she's kind of a bitch because of her, like, to Bella specifically, because of her backstory.
Sure.
And she just has different views and kind of goes about it in a rude way, but like, she's gone through it, so I don't know. I have a soft spot for her. No, I really like them all. So
I like them all. If I like, from like the most technical standpoint, had to choose like an LVP of like someone who just like does the least, I'd probably say like Esme.
yeah, we don't like know anything about her really, so she's just there.
Who are you?
Yeah, so yeah, that's fair. But I don't know, she's just so nice. I'm like, I can't. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Next question. If you were able to have one of the vampire powers in this movie.
Oh, I feel like I've thought about this. Okay, out of the ones in this movie.
Yes. Or in the franchise, anyways.
Definitely not Alice or Edwards. I don't need to know that. That'd be a lot. I mean, maybe it'd be useful, but like, that would be a lot. I don't need to know everyone's thoughts all the time, nor do I need to know the future, especially if it like can change. I'm like, no.
No. It's like, why do I want to know this if it's gonna happen? It's too fluid for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh. I've always loved like Avatar stuff and like the elements, so probably
It's just crazy that's like, oh my god, I'm a human taser. I am the Avatar.
Yeah.
When the world needed me, I appeared to fight the vampire government. And then it's like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I see like futures that might happen.
So either his powers, or I've always really liked Jane's, even though I don't think I would use that one a lot.
Do you think the only setting is pain? Do you think she could be like dance?
I don't. Yeah, I think the only setting is pain. I only want to say her because I adore her line deliveries of like saying the word pain every time. I'm like, you ate that up, girl. You look great, and you delivered that very well. So, go Dakota Fanning.
For sure.
I didn't know Elle Fanning's sister. So there you go. Yeah.
And I think it's also fun that in the last one she was credited as the like with not Elle Fanning. Yes, Elle Fanning.
Elle Fanning. Dakota Fanning. That's who plays.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jane. It's very. I was fascinated to see that someone so young was already given the specialty starring line.
Mhm. Oh, she was big before Elle was. So.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's just very interesting.
Because she's in a couple like movies when she's a kid too. So yeah.
Who is your favorite high school gang member.
What?
Like in the high school, like the friend group
Oh,
that she is
Jessica,
neglected.
obviously. Anna Kendrick, I love you so much. Your boobs did look good in that dress. So, yeah.
I do like
Anyways.
she does a lot with the small role, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely more than like the rest of them. Although the guy who goes on the date with the weird, really bad date also eats that date.
He's really funny.
I think I gotta go home.
Poor guy. Poor guy. Thinking he's going to go on a date. And Bella's like, I'm going to bring some friends. And he's like, oh. And then it's just Jacob. I'm like, oh my God. I would
Lord.
I would just melt right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I don't know. I really like Jessica. Eric, I think his name is the other guy in the friend group.
Yes.
He's kind of funny sometimes. Both boys are kind of ick, but
Eric and Mike.
when they're not being icks, they kind of eat up those lines. So they go. I don't know.
Yeah.
Definitely Jessica though. So
Okay. Do you think there's any other monsters in this universe?
oh, vampires and werewolves.
Do you think they have like? Do you think witches are just like the vampires that like had the cooler powers?
Probably.
What about mummies?
Probably.
Are they just also vampires that were in Egypt?
Maybe.
What about the Loch Ness Monster? Do you think it was just a fish bitten by a vampire?
I mean, hey, the Loch Ness Monster was mentioned in Twilight, so maybe.
Your nickname?
No, the Loch Ness Monster was just Victoria when she was in the water trying to get after Bella.
So,
You know,
interesting.
you know.
We do see the Scottish vampires, actually. The Irish vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised if like mermaids were real too in that universe, but like in a creepy way. In one of those where they
like
are
sirens.
sirens, where they like lure people. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So,
Do you think Bigfoot exists?
hey, ask my uncle. He's a big, like, serious Bigfoot believer. He has like stickers on his car.
Has he
Like,
done the study to see if they're canon to Twilight?
I need to ask him. I think.
Are there Bigfoot in forums? We need to know this.
I would be surprised if he's even seen these movies, to be totally honest. Maybe he has. He is. I don't know. I bet he's read the books. He's a big reader. So, well, maybe not. I don't know. Anyways. Yeah. I would, if I had to choose, like, which one to be, though, it would definitely be vampire.
Oh, absolutely. They make being a vampire just like
Really cool.
the best option.
Mm-hmm.
And that's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think, especially, we're probably going to talk about like vampires, like, and like the legacy of them. Honestly, maybe right now with this conversation. But so, how do you feel about the changes they made to vampire lore, and how it's just like the best thing to be instead of like, but they still act like it's a curse. It's like, oh, you don't age, you instantly become hot.
Mm-hmm.
It fixes your spine.
You might get a cool power.
Yeah.
You
become
never
a
have to
superhero.
sleep.
Sunlight, bro.
You look like a
you get
diamond.
bedazzled.
Yeah.
You get bedazzled without the pain.
No.
You look like you're going to.
And they also never tested like holy water, garlic,
They
and
have
anything.
a cross in their house.
Yeah, so I guess that doesn't affect them. Because I was gonna say the Vampire Diaries as a vampire would be fun, except that stuff does work. So, and they can get staked with a wooden stake in the heart, and that kills them. That here, it's like you have to be ripped apart and burned
Yes.
to like be permanently gone. So, yeah, I feel like this is one of, if not the best vampire universe to be a part of. So, yeah.
And how do you feel like just overall, like, because I think there's a whole conversation about like, back in my day, vampires used to be like actual monsters, not boy band members.
Yeah. I think it's cool to have both. Like, I'm thinking of like Sinners, and I think that was very fun. It was very cool to explore like the more traditional, they can't get hit by holy water, they can't be, garlic and like all this other stuff. But it was done in not a cheesy way.
Yes.
Sometimes it is done in a cheesy way, and sometimes that can be fun. I don't know. I feel like vampire lore is such a fun thing to explore, and there's so many ways you can explore it.
And adapt it. And
Yes,
metaphors
so
you can
many
use. Oh, there's such a
movies,
fun,
shows, books.
fun trope to use.
Yes.
Especially when they're done really well.
And they can coexist together and not overshadow one another. I think I feel like vampires, more than any other supernatural creature, have the most diverse, like, exploration of the lore.
Sure, absolutely.
Within, media. So.
What do you think is like a second?
I don't think I would say werewolves. I think they're, for the most part, werewolves. They're either like, a hairy man.
I don't know. We got Wolfman this
or year. Wolf. Ugh, that's not a compliment to werewolves. Maybe like mermaids, because they're they're either really nice and not evil at all, or they are evil. You have like small things like Peter Pan, you have Little Mermaid, you have Mako mermaids, you have Pirates of the Caribbean mermaids. So
what about I was thinking of like mummies. Mummies are all pretty one note. But oh my god,
ghosts are also, I feel like, witches are also really, they're very fascinating. I would probably pick witches or mermaids as my second most favorite or interesting supernatural creature.
Would you count like the Frankenstein adaptations up there? I think that's in the top. Maybe.
It's hard because like Frankenstein is Frankenstein,
Sure.
It's not like a bunch of supernatural creatures. It's just Frankenstein.
Okay, I'll buy that.
And technically, even then, that's the Doctor, as so many people like to point out, which is
stupid.
Oh I'm like, whatever.
Okay, right.
Who cares?
He still has the last name.
Right?
He's not the Doctor.
Yeah, it's fine. We're not saying Dr. Frankenstein. We're saying Frankenstein.
Because he was never given a first name.
They just say he's monster. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who cares? Boo.
Okay. So, are there... How do you think... Or how would you feel if they tried to remake the Twilight movies?
Oh gosh, I really hope they don't. I hope they either do a show, or I hope they do like a spin-off show about the Volturi or the Cullens, or honestly any of the other families in Breaking Dawn Part 2. So I would totally be down for a spin-off. I would even be kind of open to a show. I don't want another movie. No. So, anyways, but we'll see.
Adventures of Renesmee?
Or like an animated kind of thing. That could be fun. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Right.
Anyways.
Okay. I think we can go into that game that we have.
Okay, so I'll write down all the options. Do you want me to go through each option and see, like...
Well, so first off, we're assembling a coven of fictional vampires.
Yes.
And there are some great ones.
Oh, yeah.
So we did it with ballerinas, and we said 6. I feel like there's a lot more vampires.
Let's do, like...
Wait, how many... Okay, let's count the Cullens. I think, like our little family as though they were, like, the Cullen family. So that's...
Carlisle and Esme,
Emmett,
Rosalie, Alice and Jasper, Edward and Bella. Do we want to count Renesmee? I don't think so. I think 8.
I think 8's a solid number.
Okay. So we have all the vampires in Twilight. Do you want to just pick like movies, or do you want to pick specific characters?
Oh, I think characters. I think like, and even in this case, like I think we pick like the one best one from like the franchise.
Each one. Mm-hmm.
So in that case, I posit Alice.
Yeah.
I think
absolutely.
Alice makes it into our coven of vampires.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So Alice, the Vampire Diaries is hard because you haven't seen it. I would probably pick...
I know people really love Damon.
Oh, I would not pick Damon. Like, just subjectively, if I want him on a team, like, fight, I would pick one of the originals, which is kind of like Volturi in a way. Not really. Yeah. That's what it sounds like. They are the original vampires. And in that universe, I guess spoilers if you haven't seen the show, it's also been out for a long time. But anyways, each original vampire, whatever vampires they make because whoever they bite or whatever,
Yes.
is a part of their sire line. And if someone kills an original vampire, their entire sire line dies. Like, that could be hundreds of vampires.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So.
That's fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. So, it's very fun in the show, too, where they use it as a twist. So, sorry to spoil the twist. But I didn't think you were going to watch that anytime soon. So, I was
probably.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
wasn't too worried about it. But I would definitely pick one of the originals. I'm trying to think. Probably Elijah, like for like specifically vampires, because Klaus is like the main character in the original show, but he's very emotional, and Elijah's terrifying because he is so calm, but he's also so smart and strong. So I would like to pick him.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
So I'll have to take your word.
Yeah.
I give you Count from Sesame Street.
Okay.
Does he vibe? Does he match the vibes?
Not for fighting.
Well, I imagine like the Cullen family, it's like for all situations.
Okay.
And he can.
I mean, we don't have anyone else, so sure.
He's a seat cooler, not warmer, because they're vampires. But he's on the team until we get others. Your go.
Okay. I raise you Abigail.
She's fun. I like her a lot, and she has actually a couple of powers. So I feel like she's an assassin. Mm-hmm. And she has a flair for the dramatic. I think she fits. I feel like her and Alice would have a really fun dynamic.
I agree. I feel like they would be
and
fun.
they both hate the Count, so
okay.
we gotta get him out.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, yours.
Now
Your
it's my
turn.
turn.
Mm-hmm.
I posit Morbius. Is it Morbin time?
No. We even have 4 spots, and I'm saying no.
Okay, that's so
No.
fair. I give you that.
Sorry. Okay, I raise you Nosferatu.
Which version?
Oh, the
The
newest
original?
one.
Oh,
I've
the
only
newest
seen.
one.
I've only seen the newest one. Sorry.
I haven't seen the original either, but the first one's the iconic look.
Yeah.
And his name isn't
I
actually
mean-
Nosferatu. It's like Lord Olek or something like that.
Orlo.
Orlov.
I don't even know.
Something like that. I mean, he can chill. He's certainly creepy. He's got plagues. I don't think he'd get along with the crew a lot, but
If he's obsessed with any of the women, he's gotta go. He's
I
gotta
don't know. I almost
go.
feel like that's a given, though.
Oh, so true. I feel like, unfortunately, he would like Alice, and I feel like he needs to go for
Yeah,
that.
he can't match the vibe.
No,
he's too creepy.
I'm taking him off. Like, okay, your turn.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give you Blade.
Yes.
Yes, Blade
Absolutely.
matches the
He's
vibes.
literally well, he's
Well,
not a
but he's also
vampire.
a vampire hunter.
Oh, yeah, I feel like he doesn't count.
Man,
But I do want to shout out Blade.
yeah, we have to shout him, but like
He's not a vampire. We need to have
he
only
doesn't
vampires.
like he doesn't like these people.
No, he would like kill them.
He would kill the vibe.
He would kill us.
He kills the vibe.
He would make such a great
Man,
like vampire.
It's interesting
though.
seeing the people we immediately kick out, and I think it's crazy that the Count wasn't one of them.
I tried, okay, but he's like, you know what? We have the spot, so.
Okay, your turn.
Dracula.
The original.
Yes.
I watched the first Dracula, and it was for a while. It was like the earliest movie I'd ever watched.
Okay.
It really holds up.
Yeah.
Man's got aura.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think he turns into a wolf in that one, in like the original. So I'm gonna say Drac's on the team.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, OG Drac, 1960s or no, even 50s. Crazy. For my next one, I give you. Hold on. Where is she? Oh, another. Okay, Marceline, the Vampire Queen.
Yeah.
With her axe base, she's the rocker of the family. I think she brings a fun dynamic, but she cares, but she's a bad girl. There's some fun energy there, and she can turn into almost anything she wants to. Mm-hmm. She doesn't need to drink blood. She can just drink the color red. Mm-hmm. I think she's fun. What's our number at? Is that 6 or 5?
We have 6.
Okay.
I want to change my Elijah answer to Hope. I'm not going to tell you who she is, but let's just say she's a tribrid. She is part witch, werewolf, and vampire.
Oh.
Very powerful.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. So she's the only one of her kind. And yeah, she's the only one who brings all three to the table so far. So
Indeed.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Let me see.
I love how we have like mostly women on our team. I love that for us.
Well, and the classic Dracula.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to now.
And the Count.
Yes. And the Count. Okay. I'm going to say. Oh, let me make sure I
Wait,
have
no,
something.
it was my turn.
Is it your turn? Okay,
Yeah.
go your turn. My bad.
Okay, so I don't want to pick anyone from this because I don't remember them being particularly good vampires. But I did want to shout out First Kill, that vampire show on Netflix that got like immediately canceled. It was a one that was like the gay vampire show.
Oh, perfect.
Do you remember that? And then like everyone like rioted because it got canceled. Okay, let me just say it's not a good show, but I kind of like some of the actors from that show. So I felt bad for them. One of them is went on to be in White Lotus. The daughter, Victoria's daughter. I forgot her name. Not Kate.
Oh no, it isn't Kate. It's. Oh, I hate that I don't remember it. I
But
know who
she
you're
was
talking
the
about.
main character. She was like the vampire in First Kill.
Interesting.
I forgot she was in that, but it was
Okay.
very exciting to find that out. So I wanted to shout it out.
For my next one, speaking of gay vampires, I give you Lestat, played by Tom
Yes,
Cruise in
yes.
Interview with the Vampire, the movie.
Yes, absolutely. I still need to watch that. I'm behind.
I think you'd love that movie.
It's on my list. I'm watching
and
Ginny and
I
Georgia.
really enjoyed that
so...
movie, and then it makes me really interested to see what a series looks like because it covers a long time with these characters. I can only imagine how awesome a
TV show. I've heard it's
especially 'cause
really
I've heard
good.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
And, so much cool stuff.
Okay. Also, we mentioned this earlier, but my next pick is Sinners. Lots of
Remick!
picks.
Oh,
Or anyone he turns.
I don't know. I love Remick. I truly think Remick is one of the best. Like,
Really?
But he's like in my top 10 favorite villains of all time.
So valid. I really want Mary on our team though because she's so pretty.
She is pretty, but
Oh. Okay,
Remick
I'll
knows
pick
what he's
Remick
do-
though.
like, he's
But I'm gonna
powerful.
shout out Mary.
he's very powerful. And he
Is he? No, I'm
Bro,
just
him
kidding.
and Marceline can sing together. They can have a little band.
Okay.
And then I feel like him and Alice would get along really well.
Oh, I feel like you're right. Yeah.
Like, I feel like the vibes are there. Him and Lestat would have some fun conversations. He wouldn't judge that he's fawning over men every conversation.
Yeah.
He's an ally.
We
Remick's
are.
an ally. Okay.
Ally. We are at 8.
Okay, well, the count has to go.
Okay.
Is it? And it's my turn, right?
Yes.
Ooh, I'm gonna do.
I still have like 3 to mention, I think.
Okay. I want to give you.
And I have one that I like need to be on our team. So.
I give you Marvel's Dracula.
Oh.
Very fun. All of the vampire powers. His vampires that he has are very shadowy. And he's very gothic. I don't know if he'd match the vibe though, because he's very serious.
I'll add him just instead of Count, but I definitely think we're gonna replace him.
I do too, but I love his design, and he's one of my whenever he shows up and stuff, I love Marvel's adaptation of it. He's so fun.
Yeah. I also wanted to shout out. She's not a vampire as far as I know, because I've never seen the show, so I'm sorry. But I wanted to shout out Buffy the Vampire Slayer because I've heard it's very fun, and I think the main actress is the same actress as Daphne in the live-action Scooby-Doo. Pretty sure they're the same person.
Okay.
So, I thought that was fun. Wanted to shout it out. It's on my list to see, but unfortunately, it's not very high on my list. I got a lot of things to watch. So.
Okay. I think I have a strong contender. I know you haven't watched the show.
Okay.
But I need you to hear me out on this one. I give you Simon Lewis from Shadowhunters. This is before he becomes a vampire.
I have seen the show. Yeah.
Simon Lewis. I
I've
love
read
Simon.
I've read the first book, and DNF'd the next 2. I hated that book. I was like, "Ooh, this is
How do you feel
so
about the
bad."
show?
I liked the show. I don't think the main actress is particularly all that great.
I think she's
she's fine.
blends way too much into the show, considering how much of the ensemble stands out.
Yeah, But I really liked, what was his name? Alec?
Yeah, Alec and
And the other guy. Marcus?
not
Or
Marcus,
like
it's a Matt.
Magnus.
Magnus and Alec.
Ah, I loved them.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped watching like soon after like, pretty sure, I don't know. I didn't watch the whole show, but I watched probably over half of it. So, yeah. I liked the guy who played Jace. He seemed fun. I liked Alec and his sister better though. They slayed for me.
Yeah, but I love
And
Simon.
I like
He's so cute.
the movie is like a vibe. It's like
I haven't watched the movie.
I would not say it's good, but it has Lily Collins in it and has Vecna in it as Clarice or whatever her name is, Clarice, and Jace. That's who they play.
Fascinating. I can
And
see
it's like a vibe. It kind of reminds me of like the Twilight vibe of like it's like a depressing vibe, you know?
Interesting.
I don't remember movie wise if it's actually good or not. I don't think it is, but I remember it being kind of a vibe. So.
But I do posit that we replace MCU Dracula with Simon.
Okay.
Because he's gonna take care of our girlies. He's a girl's.
Is
guy.
he?
Yes.
I
He's
like-
so sweet.
I thought I remembered Simon being icky, but maybe I'm misremembering.
Well, he has a crush on the main girl, and she never feels the same way. But then, like, almost every other girl who comes on the show finds him adorable.
Okay.
Do you know how much aura you have to be considered cute when you're a vampire, demon, bloodsucker?
Not much. Vampires are hot. Like.
But here's the thing. He's not hot. He's cutie patootie.
Well.
And that's where the skill comes.
Okay. I also want to shout out Vampire Academy, another book series I've read. I have not seen the show because I have heard it's not good. And I was also not in love with the book series. I thought it was fine. So that's another reason I haven't watched the show that's apparently worse.
Okay.
But I did want to shout it out. So, again, if you're a huge reader, I know a lot of people have read that series.
Right. My next one, I have Draculaura from Monster High.
Yes.
Okay, then the age-old question: who are we pushing out into the sun to die?
Okay.
I will say, not to be a Draculaura hater, but I don't think she's gonna hold up in a fight.
Okay.
And she can't actually drink blood.
Oh. Yeah, let's skip. She looks
I
10
think
out of
she's a
10
great
for
shout.
looks, though.
I think Alice would love her.
Yeah.
I don't think she'd
If
get
we
along
had-
with anyone else.
Yeah, maybe she can be like,
and
you know,
Simon.
in the background, just kind of serving face, you know? Not on the actual team, just kind of there. Like, hey, hey.
I feel like she's a supporting character in our little ensemble.
Yeah. I only have one more.
Okay, I think I'm out.
Okay. Well, my last pick is technically your pick because you're the one who brought it up. The Hotel Transylvania.
Right. Okay.
Which
but
one did you
Dracula
pick,
or
though?
Mavis?
I want to pick Mavis.
I also want to pick
Okay,
Mavis.
good. Who do we replace? My vote is Simon, but you really like Simon.
Do
Maybe
really like-
Abigail, since she's like a child.
But Abigail's a killer.
I don't know.
Remind me of our list.
Alice,
Okay.
Hope. I really want to keep Hope. If you keep Simon, I want to keep Hope. Okay. Abigail, Dracula, Marceline, Lestat, and Remick.
That's an awesome fucking lineup to me.
For real. Maybe we have like a bonus one just
I feel
to
like her
include
and
Mavis.
Draculaura are like off. They're like off at coffee, but like blood coffee.
So true, because Mavis is not like, you know, blood sucking. Like she's not violent.
Like I feel like her. I don't know. I feel like she'd get along with some of the characters, but I feel like if you're not like super into like drinking actual blood, I don't know
Which
if
I
this is
guess
the game for
Alice
you.
isn't either.
But she
Like
I don't
human
know.
blood, but
She'd get with him. I feel like
we
if she
could
was.
get. You know, we can have a vegetarian of the group. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. You know, she can.
I think ultimately Mavis doesn't fit in the ensemble here, but a great
Okay.
mention. I think she's
Yes.
Draculaura level, where it's like
Mhm.
in another timeline, if we started it doing a different thing here, you'd still be here.
Yeah, I agree. So there you go.
Alrighty, so that is our lineup. I think that's a fun little coven, actually.
Yeah, me too.
R.I.P. Count.
Anyways,
Okay.
that's all I have to say.
Ooh, I do want to
Anything
ask
else?
how you feel specifically about Bella and Edward's performance compared to their later work? Like, where do you think
Oh.
how they kind of evolved as actors? Where do you think these performances kind of go for you?
Well, I appreciate that however you think about their performance, they're very accurate. So I think they did really well.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's hard work to like be taken seriously with. So, but I think they've both had great careers outside of that. Spencer is one of my favorites for Kristen Stewart. And then Robert Pattinson's been killing it just in
Yes, he
general.
has.
Obviously love his Batman performance. Even in Mickey 17, even though it wasn't my favorite movie overall, I think he did really well.
He ate
I
that.
think he always kills. I think both of them do. So
Oh my god, now
I
I'm
don't
forgetting
know.
that she was in Love Lies Bleeding.
No,
She's
yeah.
great in that.
she's great. She's one of the main. She is the main character. I'm pretty sure. So
Trying to see.
Yeah.
There was one other movie I remembered seeing her in. I'm trying to see if I can't find it. It's like her and the new Lex Luthor, who I always forget his
Nicholas
name.
Hoult?
Nicholas Hoult. Like love interests in a world where you're not supposed to like people anymore.
oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
I
Didn't it
can't-
come out the past couple years?
It's not an old movie at all. Equals. That's what it was.
Okay, I think I've heard of that. I have not seen it though.
It's not bad.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say it's probably the closest she gets to Bella again, because it's like, I'm not supposed to like you, so let me do my work and stay away from me.
Yeah. But I don't know.
You missed the Debbie Ryan.
Debbie Ryan.
The radio rebel, if you will.
Yeah. I don't know. And I'm excited for Robert Pattinson to be in the Odyssey. I think that could be
Yes.
very great for him. So I'm not worried about him, being overshadowed if he's given a decent amount to work with.
Mhm.
Like, even in Oppenheimer, I think one of my gripes is that the two main female characters didn't get a lot of time to shine, but I think even so, they casted just such talented actresses in those roles, and so I think I still remember their roles well and like, the little bit that I got. So even if that happens in the Odyssey, even if there's like a million characters that don't, get very little spurts, I am excited to see his. So
Absolutely. I think it's
I think he'll leave his mark. So.
absolutely his vampire mark.
Ah.
Anyways, ignoring that
Yeah.
one.
Anyways.
All right.
So,
I think
very
that's
fun.
every note I needed to hit.
Me too.
So if that is...
Oh, also, Rosalie's actress Nikki Reed is married to Ian Somerhalder, who was Damon in Vampire Diaries. If you didn't know, because she looks wildly different in real life. Because she's not blonde, she has dark hair, and that just like completely changes her look in real life. So, yeah, vampire power couple, I guess.
So supposedly.
So,
So,
anyways.
that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let us know, what do you think of the Twilight franchise? Best highs and lows there. What do you think of our vampire lineup? Who would you add to the coven? And yeah, until
thanks
next
for tuning
time,
in.
Thank you guys for listening. I'm your host Luke,
and I'm your other host, Alicia.
and thank you guys so much for watching to Not So Straight Nerds.
Bye.
Blah blah blah.
Okay.